The new Dragonflight expansion launches this week and features brand new leveling content from level 60 to level 70 in the new continent, the Dragon Isles. I've done a lot of level testing on Demon Hunter on the beta, probably way more than I should have. So in this video, I'll give you guys a guide on leveling talents, as well as some general tips and tricks to make your leveling experience as smooth as possible when Dragonflight swoops in. Before we get to that though, a lot of my viewers aren't subscribed, so if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, consider hitting the subscribe button. It would really help me out and doesn't really cost you anything. I'll have tons of great content throughout Dragonflight and beyond. Now enjoy the video. We're going to start off with talents first, and I do think that Havoc is going to be the faster spec to level with. Of course, if you want to level as Vengeance, I'll have some talents at the end, but we'll start off with the Havoc ones. So obviously, one of the big things when we are leveling is going to be our leveling talents. And here we are on Wowhead with a level 60 build. This is the Glaive AoE build. And I think really while you're leveling, there are two kind of things you can think about. You can either level with the talents that you're going to play at level 70. So, you level with your Essence Break Momentum, Glaive build talents, practice how you play almost a bit. Or you can level with this other build that I've tried out on beta that kind of seems to have a little bit more upfront burst. It won't be as powerful at 70 when mobs are living longer, but it does give you, at least in the lower levels, like level 60 through 64, 65, when things are pretty low and you're able to kill them really quickly, it gives you a lot of value there. So we'll go over that first. We'll talk about the two builds that I really could play, and I'll have links in the description down below for the exports as well. So this is ours at level 60. The first point you're going to get is going to be on the spec tree. And actually, I think there's going to be a few changes you want first. So I think actually really important while you're leveling is I think you do actually want to come down into the momentum side of the tree. I think when you're at level 60, you're going to actually want to have something that looks a little bit more like this. I think getting rid of Furious Throws is going to be good because you want to have Throw Glaive to pull enemies. So you could take that point out, put it in Stun, or put it in Blind Fury, or even in Improved Chaos Strike if you want more single target. But I think at level 60, I think you're going to want to start off with something like this, with Rage Fire, and then start putting your points down into Soul Rend, pick up any means necessary, pick up Accelerating Blade, and then pick up Fought of the Flame finally. On the class tree side, the very first point you want to put into is Unnatural Malice. It's going to be your strongest one by far. And I think it's worth it to come down, pick up Precise Sigils, grab Sigil of Misery, and from here you can just put in whatever you want. I have Felfire Haste already selected. You could put a point into Unleash Power, put a point into Improved Sigil of Misery, and then this is kind of like your level 70 build. It's a bit different. Obviously, at level 70, Blind Fury is not as good as Furious Throws, but I think in leveling, when Glaive is like a really important part of your rotation for pulling targets, I think being able to use it off of the rip and not having it, cost Fury is going to be really important. So that's kind of this build. For the other build, I don't think that your class trees are going to change too much, but I do think that on the spec tree side, there is another build you could play, which requires us to kind of completely redo everything. So this build, which I'm filling out right now, is going to be better at the lower levels when you are killing mobs a lot quicker. You don't have time for your Bloodlet Glaives to do a lot of damage. You don't have time for Rage Fire to really stack up. It's going to be a lot more similar to what we play in single target. And really, it's going to involve us going down the middle path of the tree. So I'll fill it out here. I need one more point. We can put this into Improved Fell Rush or Fell Eruption. I'll just put it into Fell Rush for now. Obviously, at level 60, you'll have something like this, really, which is, pretty standard. And then you're going to want to fill out Cycle of Hatred, put 2 points in there. You don't want to grab Shattered Destiny, really, because in AoE or in this leveling experience where you're kind of just jumping through pack to pack really fast, you don't get a lot of usage off of Shattered Destiny. Pick up Chaos Theory into Glaive Tempest, and then finally, Fought of the Flame. You could swap those, of course. You could pick up Fodder first. Fodder is a very strong 1 point, but then you could do this. Glaive Tempest. So this is going to be better in the lower levels, levels 60 to 65 or something like that. Whenever you have that really fast kill time, you have a lot of upfront damage with Essence Break. You have a lot of more frequent I-beams from Cycle of Hatred. I-beam does a lot of damage. You're going to have Glaive Tempest, which is going to do really well in those environments with those mobs that don't live very long and you just kill really quickly. This is where this build kind of shines. Of course, this is not going to be what we're playing at max. At max, we are going to play the other build I showed you guys with the enemies necessary. Rage Fire, Accelerating Blade, and Soul Rend. But this build has shown some promise for me while leveling. I do think both of them are pretty close. So if you want something that has a little bit more of that bursty upfront damage for while you're leveling and while things are dying really fast, you can do this. But if you want to practice of what we'll be playing with at max level, then I would recommend using the other build with any means necessary, with Accelerating Blade, with Soul Rend, with Rage Fire, and all that stuff. And of course, Felfire Haste is going to be very important. So if you are interested as leveling as Vengeance, there are some options for you as well. I do think Havoc is going to be a little bit faster just based on their damage profile and based on their ability to use Fell Rush and stuff like that, but Vengeance has some options as well. So this is Vengeance at level 60. You have your class tree and your spec tree. We'll talk about Clash Tree first. I think the first thing you're going to want to do, of course, is Unnatural Malice on the Hunt. It's just a very, very powerful button. Then I think you're going to want to run it down to get Eldrazi Design, Extended Sigils, and finally Quicken Sigils, and that'll put you at 70. The Quicken Sigils will be very good as well, just finishing up the quest line and stuff. On the right side of the tree here, I've gone down into the Frailty side. I do think Frailty is going to be very strong. I've also grabbed Fiery Demise because it's a little bit more damage. And of course, Meteoric Strikes, because reducing Infernal Strike is going to give you more speed off of Fellfire Haste. And of course, more movement. And then Sigil of Silence is going to be really good for grabbing a lot of packs. I've also grabbed Burning Blood for more fire damage and stuff like that. Kind of dropped a lot of the defensive options for more damaging options. But from here, you do have two choices. You could run it down the middle here, grab Stoke the Flames, grab Feed the Demon, and then pick up Elysian Decree if you have the Sigils talents, or Fodder. I think both are really good. I think in leveling, I think Elysian Decree is going to be a little bit better because you're able to control when you want that burst damage. And I think Soulcriver is also going to be pretty good just for a 1 minute cooldown, getting you a lot of damage with Spirit Bomb and packs. However, another option you could do if you want to go more off of the Fiery Demise, Fiery Brand build, you can go down into Burning Alive, Charred Flesh, and Down in Flames, and then pick up Elysian Decree as well in the end. This gives you more fire damage and more single target damage with Down in Flames, as well as if you pull a bunch of mobs and they're alive long enough for Burning Alive to spread, then this will give you some damage there. This again is going to be a little bit stronger at max level, but you will lose it on some Fel Dev damage. Of course, you'll still have stuff like Darker Boon. You'll still have frailty stacks and stuff like that. So this is going to be pretty good damage otherwise. But each one's going to be good in different scenarios. If things are alive longer, then you're going to want to go down to the right side to Down in Flames. You'll have that option to do that spread AoE damage a little bit more. Or if you want more single target or more cooldown options, you can go down the middle side. But I do think that Havoc is going to be pretty much a better leveling spec because it's a little bit faster, kill time, a little faster movement speed. But Vengeance won't be that bad either. And of course, make sure you grab Pursuit for your mastery speed increase. So with talents out of the way, let's move on to a more general tips and tricks section just to give people a nice, smooth, clean leveling experience on Monday or in the future whenever they come to Dragonflight and just get to experience this. I've done a lot of leveling on the beta. If people have tuned into my last 3 or 4 streams, I've just been kind of doing some speed running practice of Demon Hunter in the first area just to get some experience. I want to get max in the first night, and I will be streaming it Monday 6 p.m. Eastern on my Twitch. So come hang out there. I'll be going until I hit max level and probably a little bit after. Should be a fun time. And with that, there are some tips and tricks for people to pick up to get fast at leveling. So the first thing, clear out your bags. So my bags are still a little messy, obviously. There are some things I haven't cleaned out yet, but you can see there's a lot of free space in here. You're going to want to clear this out, especially if you are planning on doing, side quests or dungeons or professions as you're leveling. Make sure you have tons of space in your bag. I'm going to go through some more and dump some other stuff out, but you want to have stuff in your bags. Get rid of your legendaries, get rid of all your animal stuff, all your stuff from Korthia. Clear that out, throw it in your bank if you want to keep it. If not, clear it out from your banks as well. Make sure you have tons of space. Another important thing, if you're watching this and there's still the free patch event on, grab a reagent bag from the vendor. It only costs you 5 of the primal things, so if you've done the introductory quest, you can get it. This is an extra bag slot just for reagent items, so if you're doing professions as you're leveling, this is going to be very important. Those are very important things. The other thing is stock up on your consumables, stock up on your gems. So what I mean by that is there's going to be a few consumables that you're going to want to have while you're leveling. One of those things is going to be Spectral Flask of Power. Now I have 95 of them left over from Season 4 and whatever. Probably don't need that many, but this will help you in leveling. Your Sharpening Stones will help you in leveling. Shadow Core Oils will help you in leveling. Drums will help you out if you have, if you're not a Lust class. So, if you have these left around, you can pick them up. But the very, very important thing you're going to always want to pick up is going to be gun shoes and fried bonefish. Now, these sound a little weird. Gun shoes effectively let you travel around on the foot really, really fast. There are tons of areas in the Dragonflight first zone before you get dragon riding, which is going to be very, very useful. You can use it to cross large gaps really quickly. So pick up gun shoes as fast as you can. They're going to be super useful. I think that around 20 to 40 of them should get you through leveling pretty comfortably. But of course, just spend however much you're comfortable on. The other thing, HP potions, sure, use them. But fried bonefish is a food item that's very useful from Shadowlands. Basically, whenever you eat it for 10 seconds, you get a well-fed buff and gives you speed for a short while after defeating an enemy. This is very useful while you're questing. Every time you defeat an enemy, you get that little extra speed bonus and get to move on to your next target. So that's going to be a very important pickup as well. Grab as many as you can. I think I have 100 of them. They're going to be very useful. If you want to, you can grab combat potions, but that's not really a big deal. The last few things you're going to want, especially for Havoc Demon Hunter, is you want as much mastery as physically possible. The reason for this, and this works for Vengeance as well, is because of this node, Pursuit. It gives our mastery movement speed as well. So you can see here I have 63% mastery, and basically what that does is it increases my movement speed by 21.1%. That is a lot of an increase. You can see I'm pretty fast as I move around. The other thing that increases your speed that you're going to want to pick up as well is going to be obviously a minor speed increase cloak enchant. In the last gem, this one here, speed increase by 13% for each shadowlands gem you have. This gem is called the Straddling Jewel Doublet. So this, when you buy it, if you equip it, it gives you 13 speed for each shadowlands gem you have. So that's 1 shadowlands gem, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 times 13 is going to be above 70, 80 speed. So there's a nice extra speed bonus on top of that. So you can see I have a fair bit of speed on me. So full mastery gems, full mastery enchants. You want to grab your Straddling Jewel Doublet. If you really want to go hard, you can also recraft your legendaries onto jewelry to get a lot of mastery. But again, legendaries themselves aren't going to be useful in Dragonflight. As soon as we leave the Shadowlands, they will no longer be used. So if you have higher level stuff, swap to that instead. But mastery is going to be very important for speed leveling. A final note for everybody with Vein Rippers, they do currently appear to be working outside of Shadowlands and above level 61, so that will help you speed up your leveling as well. If you have those Vein Rippers, they do a lot of damage and allow you to go pretty fast. The last little tidbit, and this one is going to be very important if you like leveling fast, is make sure you enable Enlisted. So Enlisted is basically Warmode, so go to Orgrimmar, come into your talents and click this little button and you should be able to turn on Warmode. When you turn it on, you're going to gain 10% extra quest rewards and experience. However, there will be other people to fight, but generally on release, a lot of people will be leveling in Warmode, allowing you to kind of just not really fight many people, especially if you're on a server like Illidan or like Area 52 where it's massively one faction over another. Then really you're not really going to notice too much in Warmode. For Warmode talents, Chaotic Imprint is going to be very good with the Glaive stuff. Unending Hatred is going to give you a lot more fury based on how much damage you get dealt. And then finally, Blood Moon is a nice passive to give you leech whenever you use Consume Magic. You also can use Cleanse by Flame to remove magical effects from you from Inhalation Aura. There are tons of little tiny things that might put a debuff on you. You can use Glimpse to kind of have a little bit of a damage reduction. You can use Rain from Above, although I personally wouldn't recommend it because it does shoot you up in the air and it's not very fast. Reverse Magic can remove harmful effects, and then really that's it. You could use Sigil Mastery, but like what sigils do you have while you're leveling? But really, Blood Moon, Unending Hatred, and Chaotic Imprint are going to be good ones for leveling because they give you the most damage, they give you the most fury, and they give you some leech. Those are really my tips and tricks for leveling as Havoc. Important things to use is just make sure you're using your Fel Rush to get around. Make sure you're bench retreating as well. If you're in combat against a big target, you can use those, but you just want to make sure that you're keeping up and moving as fast as you can between targets, throwing your glaives up to hit things, using all your big bursty damage buttons, and just making sure that you are collecting things as much as you can and dealing a lot of damage. One final thing before I go, I would recommend people install the add-on Leatrix Plus if you really want to speed up your leveling. What this does is it automates all your quests, it automates all your talking to people, it automates junk and repairs. As well, it also automates picking up and auto-looting quest items and stuff like that. So it's going to be a very important one if you want to level fast. Of course, if you don't want to level fast, you don't need this, but Leatrix Plus is a great add-on if you're looking to go quick. So that's it for my leveling guide for Demon Hunter, a bit of Havoc, a bit of Vengeance. Let me know down below if you enjoyed it or if you have any questions or comments. Again, I'll be live on the Monday, leveling from 60 to 70 all in one day, and then doing some endgame stuff. 6 p.m. Eastern, we'll probably be live then. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great time, and I'm so happy that you're all here for this ride. So I would love to see you all later on in Dragonflight. I'm looking forward to it so much. I'll have tons more content coming out. Thanks for watching the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.